So I just want to welcome everybody to our very special webinar, all about standing out in today's market, leveraging Matterport to win listings and attract more buyers. We're so thrilled that you have all joined us today. You're spending a few minutes of your time to come and learn about some amazing solutions we have for you. So first, just a couple of housekeeping items. Please submit any questions that you have to our Q&A tab on your screen. We want to hear from you. Don't be shy. We love having the interaction and engagement from the audience. So anything you have that comes up during the show, just put it right in Q&A and we'll get to your question. The session will be recorded and available on demand. So we'll be sharing that out to everybody tomorrow. And don't drop off before the end because we do have 4 free giveaways we're going to be raffling off. And then you'll all get the exclusive promo code for $100 off your next order. Next, I just want to introduce our hosts, myself. I'm Kate Remillard. I'm on the marketing team with VHT Studios and Matterport. And we also have Lucy Edwards here today, our Director of Strategic Engagement. And most of you probably know Lucy. She has her monthly talk show, Lunch with Lucy, that we do together. And Lucy is out and about all the time interviewing industry experts and attending events all over the country. So welcome, Lucy.
Hello, everybody.
All right. And next we have our special guests. We have Vince Calora, Director of Operations at VHT Studios and Matterport. And Vince is our true subject matter expert. He's our go-to for all photography and media information. Welcome, Vince.
Thank you, Kate.
Next, we have 2 agents that are very familiar with 3D tours. We have Ave Maria Brown. She is with Century 21 Link Realty in Florida. Welcome, Ave Maria.
Good morning, guys. Thank you for having me.
And next we have Dylan Maitland. He is out of Twin Cities, Minnesota with Parcel Real Estate. Welcome to Dylan.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So next, today's agenda, we'll just go through quickly. We're going to do a quick intro to VHT and Matterport. We're going to review some stats around trends we're seeing in today's market, and then we'll talk about how VHT can equip you for success, and we'll end with some Q&A. So now we'll just get started and I'll hand it right over to Vince.
Awesome. Thanks, Kate. So as some of you already know, Matterport acquired VHT Studios last year now. Since we joined forces, we've been busy sort of tuning our offerings to provide more options for you all, right? The residential real estate agents, and guiding the company as a whole in successfully navigating the nuances of working with agents, brokers, and photographers. Our goal ultimately is to improve how people interact with physical properties in a digital world. We want to help buyers find the perfect home, and we really want to help sellers find the perfect buyer. Now, it's notable, right? Like Matterport, we are in the business of digitizing and adding value to, the digital twin from a space. So we extend far beyond the world of real estate. We work across a wide range of sectors to help companies manage their physical spaces remotely. Matterport tech has been used to scan more than 22 billion square feet to date, which is a pretty impressive number. Now, what do we want to take away from today's session? We want to share with you what some agents have already discovered, which is ultimately how to rise above the competition, stand out, and be more successful by using Matterport and VHT Studios. So just want to level set, right? I'm not going to tell you anything you don't know here, but let's contextualize. A lot's changed in the last couple of years. We've all found a way through the pandemic, and now the market's sort of changing again. There's way more competition for fewer listings. Looking at data from Realtor, there's 7% fewer houses coming in the market this year versus previous year at the same time. So time on market was 5 days longer in August of this year compared to 2022. So in almost every market, right, looking at this data, new listings are way down, days on market are up, and active listings are all up. So one thing's clear, houses aren't selling themselves anymore. Sellers are more anxious than ever before, making competition for agents winning listings harder than ever. And over to you, Lucy. So you know what? I'll jump.
I'm
Oh,
sorry
and
about that.
she's back.
Yeah, so my apologies. I had wrong presentation. So here we go, technical problems. But I would love to ask you guys, both of you, let's start with you, Ava Maria. How are you using your product, and what made such a big difference when you used the Digital Pro?
Oh, oh, you're muted, Ave Maria. Sorry, hon.
That was my practice run. See? Look at
All good. Fix
So
it.
I was saying, like, I have nothing to compare it to. So I've only used Matterport, and I've never had a listing that took me longer than 30 days to sell it. So that's why I go back to what works for me. I don't have another photography studio to compare it to. I just know that when other agents in my office are telling me about the issues that they're having or pictures, or I'm just like, try this, try this. So I referred a lot of my colleagues to VHT only because I feel like once I make that initial investment and I do it, it works for itself. Do I still have to show the house or accommodate my clients? Of course, but as far as VHT and the product and what it does, it definitely works.
So Ave Maria, I'm not going to argue, right, or complain about only using one photo studio, right? Obviously, we love the loyalty, but I feel like you said I've only used Matterport, right? So for the entirety of your real estate career, you've always been participating with digital photography, Matterport 3D tours.
Yes, because so just to know my market, I only market and farm high-end listings. And most of my clients, they prefer not to have people coming in their house for every time they want to show a property. So when I was trying to find something that would alleviate that, so I can at least have my potential buyers going through the property and getting that real feel, being able to measure, being all of the things that Matterport and VHT offer, it kind of cleans it up for me. So I don't have to do all that or have any type of issue with my seller. I'm not available at 4. By the time my potential buyer comes in and wants to either make an offer or see the house, they've pretty much gotten a real feel of the property.
Nice.
That's amazing. And since you are in Florida, and Florida is a completely different market and compare with everyone else, because, well, Florida is one of 3 states that everyone's still moving to. Do you feel that you should still have to advertise your property fully with all your heart and speed because everything is selling? There is tight inventory. Again, everyone wants to be in Florida, but I see that you are going out of your way to provide the best.
So that's just part of the service. So to answer your question, do I think that I need to? Absolutely. So I want to separate myself from everyone else, especially if I'm trying to procure a deal where the listing has expired. The first thing I go for is what I would have done different than the last agent, and saying this is how I marketed my previous home. I always get the oohs and the ahs. So, oh, that's so nice. So why not keep it? If it's working, just keep using it, right? If it's not broke, don't try to fix it. So why look for anything else? So like I just got a deal yesterday and I called Kate and I'm just like, can you help me out with this? Because there's no need to go and try to do anything else.
Great. Thank you, Ave Maria. So Kate, do you want to give us the results?
Yeah, and let's check in with Dylan really quick in terms of what you're seeing in your market, Dylan, in terms of number of listings, days on market, and the Twin Cities compared to like what we're looking at for national numbers. And then like what any challenges that you're facing right now in the market.
So overall, the Twin Cities area, at least in my opinion, I think it's performing well nationally. However, if you do look at the trend over the past year and a half, we have been seeing tightening of inventory. And with the increased interest rates, I think it's just caused some hesitancy for people wanting to move. And uh, and days on market are kind of funny. So when people ask how's the market, I tell them it's kind of silly because some properties, they're going really fast. And others that you think would go really fast, they're still taking time and effort to sell. And when I got started, I was licensed in 2012 when the bottom of the session was starting to come up. On average, it took about 4, 5, 6 months to sell a home. And now we're experiencing 30 days on market. And so I think during COVID, when homes were selling in a matter of hours to days, people are really frustrated when 30 days on market, my home hasn't sold. And to me, I look back on my early career and thought, wow, if I could have sold a home in a month, I was doing pretty good. And now it's not the case. So we are experiencing changes in our market, but I also compare it to dating, that the good ones always go fast, especially if you're presenting well and you're presenting a good product. So, and that's a long answer short that our market is changing, but overall, I still think we're in a seller's market, and we are in a healthy environment, although we are getting more days on market and inventory is tight.
And we also got dating advice. I appreciate that.
Oh my gosh. Can you see, I'm trying to share the results of the poll. Can you see them or not?
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So it looks like the majority of our audience is still experiencing a bit of a challenging market. Like we said in the intro, we have people joining us from both coasts and everywhere in between. I just saw somebody from Idaho joined us. So we know the market is very different, and no matter where you are in the country. And then it looks like it's pretty evenly split between not having challenges and getting better. So yeah, I think we're just in a pretty transitional time. We'll just have to keep watching. All right, so next, what do we have next? So we're going to talk about this National Homebuyer and Seller Survey that Matterport conducted in February of this year with home buyers and sellers across the nation to dig into some more stats and numbers. So let's see what we found there.
Awesome. So when we launched this survey, we asked which tools were most important in aiding in buyers' decisions. So not a surprise that photography is still the most important app. But 3D tours are more important than floor plans, which was actually a bit of a surprise to us. Historically, we see, sort of nationally, more agents request a floor plan than a 3D tour. And overall, our stats show that less than 5% of listings even have a 3D tour. And so that's, again, looking at the aggregate data. We think this represents a great opportunity for agents to really stand out and deliver what buyers want. Go to the next slide. So we can also see that home buyers spend more time viewing listings that have 3D tours on it. In fact, Matterport's done a whole lot of studies on this, and the data shows that for an average of a 2,400 square foot home, viewers spend an additional 4 minutes and 30 seconds on a listing, viewing a listing when it features a 3D tour, than with just photography alone. So I know everyone here is interested. They understand how important it is to increase the amount of time buyers spend looking at your listing online. More time equals more interest, and more interest means that your listing is connecting with the hearts and minds of potential buyers.
And let's start with you this time, Dylan. What about your sellers and buyers? Do they appreciate that you provide additional marketing strategy that makes it easier for both parties?
Yeah, I think when the seller thinks, hey, my home's going to go on the market, they're really curious to see, well, what's it going to look like? So when I can pull up a portfolio of other properties that I've shot with Matterport, 3D tours, and let them play with that on site, they get really excited and they can start envisioning their property there. So I think from a visual perspective, it gets the seller excited to want to work with you, but also it really represents their home well. And then secondly, too, I think it is important for buyers too to see the property as visual as it can. And one thing I appreciate about VHT is some photography companies I've used in the past, they over Photoshop. And there's a different experience when the person goes in. I do feel VHT does a much better job about presenting the home for what it actually is. And I think the buyers appreciate that. And also, even with the 3D tours, what's nice is if you have a property with a funny floor plan, you can easily send that to lead, have them take a look at it. And I think it helps solidify that buyer wants to continue forward. So again, with your funny floor plans or properties with unique spaces or unique features at Matterport, that 3D tour, that's a really useful tool.
Well, thank you, Dylan. What about you, Ave Maria? You are in Florida. In your market, sometimes you have buyers who had never even seen the house, and they will buy it just based on Matterport and photography. So what's your feedback from sellers? Do they appreciate the fact that someone from Minnesota can buy something in Florida without flying in?
I think they appreciate the fact that you're representing, or I'm representing their house in the matter that looks beautiful, right? So when you get into these high-end properties, they're very meticulous about how their house is marketed and presented. And I think that it seals the deal for them. They get to see how it's going to be marketed. I wanted to just piggyback off of what Dylan said, just having international buyers. When you have an international buyer come over to the US and they see a property that they got to see on the internet and they say, wow, it's just like the pictures. That's the signed, seal, delivered stamp for me. So that's an outside source, non-biased opinion. It looks just like it was in the pictures. We want it. And that's what I want to do. I want to do that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's awesome.
So
And let's look at our poll results really quickly. So we asked, does your visual marketing strategy, whether you're doing photography, floor plans, 3D tours, drone, does that help you win listings over your competition? And the majority of you guys say yes, 61%. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. And then there's a few of you that said it doesn't make a difference. So that must be a super competitive market there, but just interesting numbers to look at for sure.
I'm going to guess the 5% is in a market where it's predominantly VHT studio. So we've unfortunately leveled the playing field.
Yeah, that's it. That must be it.
I'll go with
if
that.
someone
No.
who said no, who said doesn't really matter, if you don't mind putting in the chat, what kind of market do you have that you don't have to market the property? I'm just curious.
Yeah, that would be great to know.
Could I comment on a note I saw pop up here?
Sure.
So somebody had mentioned it's hard to get realtors to cooperate or jump on the idea of getting professional photography in rural areas. My early startings in my career was very rural. We saw a lot of farms and country property. That was before VHT was in my market, but cell phones do a good job. And I remember back in 10, 11 years ago, people were using their little digital cameras. And that was the easy way I could differentiate myself with the competition, was I was willing to pay for professional photographers and a little extra drive time and fuel to get them out there. So in rural areas, yes, there still is the apprehensiveness on the impact professional photography can make. And I think those rural agents that are embracing it and also putting the drone up in the air, I really think that's a huge differentiator. It surely helped me win a lot of rural listings back when I was doing a lot of country property.
Yeah, good
And I
point.
strongly believe
It's all about the drone. Like that's a perfect use case for drone photography and video.
Your rural areas do have a stigma to have more old school realtors and brokers that aren't really embracing technology. But if it's the one technology you should embrace in rural areas, it's definitely your media.
and again, it's investment in your next listing. So once you show how you present the property and how fast is it sold, it's no brainer.
And it's a reflection of your professionalism too, I believe.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've got nothing to add here because I feel like you've covered all the really salient points there. In a market where it's sort of old school real estate, you've got a great opportunity to differentiate yourself, not even by going hard, right? Like just bringing in professional media right off the bat. Somebody who's looking at listings in that market, your listings automatically stand out. Doubling down with drone photography, because we're talking about farms, we're talking about vast, sort of pieces of land, is going to give you a leg up. And 3D tours is probably something that's far below that 5% threshold I'm seeing nationally.
Cool. So let's talk about how VHT Studios can help.
Yeah, let's do that. So I'm excited to say that now more than ever, we have more tools available than ever to create the best possible online showing for your listings. Platinum, gold, silver photography shot with a DSLR camera, floor plans, 3D tours, full motion video, drone and virtual staging gives us a full suite of tools to ensure that you have everything you need to successfully market any listing. So I want to take a couple of minutes to start out with what people are most familiar with, and that's traditional photography. It's shot with a DSLR camera by a professional photographer. We offer at VHT Studios 3 levels of photography: platinum, gold, and silver. But today we're going to highlight our most popular, gold series with a Matterport 3D tour and floor plan. So on your screen right now are going to be samples of recent gold photographs taken on real VHT Studio shoots. As I mentioned, Gold Series photography is by far our most popular service. And, you know, I really stand by the standard that we've built. And what makes Gold the best? It really starts with top talent. Gold photography is shot by seasoned professionals. When they come to VHT Studios, they're already a great photographer, but then we put them through extensive education and photographic coaching that leads to Gold certification that allows us to really offer a level of consistency that the industry needs. Stunning imagery starts with competition, and our team is just outstanding at that. There's all the technical stuff. There's a whole lot that goes into creating a Gold photograph. Each shot you see on your screen is composed of like 5 or more frames that get layered and merged by our studio team to create a final image that takes full advantage of the complete range of light that a DSLR camera can capture. It's going to provide maximum brilliance, clarity, and detail. Now, when you choose Gold photography, you always have the opportunity, or you usually have the opportunity to enhance it with a Matterport 3D tour and floor plan. That's an option I strongly encourage people to consider, and here's why. A 3D tour enables potential buyers to explore the property virtually at any time. Ave Maria talked about how important this is to her sellers. They can do it from any location. It's immersive, and it's really like a 24/7 open house experience. The 3D tour, or the digital twin, as we like to call it at Matterport, allows viewers to navigate the space and truly visualize themselves living in the home. The most significant benefit of the 3D tour really lies in its ability to capture that mind share. There's immense value in mind share in differentiating a property from its competition. A Matterport-enabled property offers an unparalleled level of information and engagement, allowing potential buyers to really deeply contemplate the home and better understand its potential. This can be a game changer when competing against listings that lack the comprehensive insights that a 3D tour can offer. You know, that example that we were talking about, I forgot the area that he was in. If people are barely doing digital photography, well, that 4 minutes and 30 seconds spent on your home is going to really put you at an advantage over the competition. I think it's worth noting that the majority of our photographers are skilled in scanning properties for 3D, which means when you hire us, when we dispatch somebody for that Gold shoot, if you're adding a 3D tour, it can all be done in one appointment. We don't need to send 2 separate folks out to do it. Now, floor plans serve as an invaluable addition to both photographs and the 3D tour, offering a more straightforward illustration of the property's layout and room dimensions. When you order a Matterport 3D tour through VHT Studios, a floor plan is conveniently generated from the scan, eliminating the need for us to do another walkthrough and go remeasure the property. Incorporating floor plans into your printed materials, like show sheets and leave behinds, allows potential buyers to walk away with something tangible for further consideration. This captures even more mind share when they sit down with their partners to discuss where they want to go, what they want to make an offer on. Again, giving your listing a competitive edge. You're up against an MLS printout that's got a really, fluffy description and one photograph, or you have your show sheet with your beautiful photography, the on-site experience, and then you flip it over and you've got a floor plan where you can kind of spend a minute or two planning with your partner. Lucy, you're muted.
Dylan, question to you. You are a big fan of Gold photography and Matterport. So why are you, and obviously drone, because you have, your properties do qualify for something special like that to show the space. But why do you prefer Gold photography and Matterport as your main package?
I prefer both because as great as Matterport is when you're getting just the pictures from the Matterport, sometimes the lens can be bowed a little bit more. And I'm very, very anal, probably more than the average person. So for me, I think I notice it more. But I also like just how high quality the Gold photos are. And so as great as Matterport is, I'm just still a big fan of a camera lens taking pictures. So I do both, and I'm happy to provide it. And I think it looks fantastic when it's done. In the Matterport course, I'm just really big about people being able to navigate the space. And my peers on Facebook, I get a lot of good feedback from them too. They like playing with it.
Do you put the Matterport on your social media?
Yeah, I do. I put it on my Facebook. I'll do some emails and I'll be like, hey, check out this cool 3D tour of this house. And especially your unique plans too. I think people get a kick out of touring through the house. And sometimes in the past too, I've even like done like a demo on it to kind of display it. And I get a lot of good engagement from that.
Great. So I'm sure your seller appreciates it.
Yeah, it's fun to see the eyes light up and they get excited to see their home on the screen.
Thank you, Dylan.
All right, guys, so now that we've talked about the benefits of traditional photography at Matterport, I want to introduce one of our newest service offerings, Digital Pro. We're going to talk about what makes it such an innovative and affordable choice. So Digital Pro is a new kind of service. Rather than going through and using a traditional DSLR camera, our photographers leverage the advanced capabilities of the Matterport Pro Series cameras to scan every space in your property, generating a digital twin. Now, I used the term digital twin before. I'll explain it now. A digital twin is essentially a virtual replica of your property that we use to create all the media for your listing. You see it most often as a 3D tour. So from that digital twin, we can create everything you need to market your listing. Photos, a 3D tour, a floor plan, and a preview video. We've already covered 3D tour and floor plan, so let's focus on the two new pieces of media included, the photography aspect and the preview video. So everything you see on screen are photos that we've created utilizing the digital twin. So this is now it's a part of the Digital Pro service, and it's really important to know that all images derived from the 3D scan of the property. So one advantage we have with Digital Pro over traditional photography is that we can kind of revisit the model to capture additional images if there's a space we haven't already represented or you want to tweak. We don't need to go back and reshoot the property. Unlike our other offerings, our editors actually craft the composition by leveraging the 3D model of the property instead of the photographer on site. So what that means is, as with all media produced with VHT, our tagline, image is everything. We go in and we meticulously enhance and optimize each photograph that we create from the 3D tour. This process ensures that the final results are nothing short of stunning. If you look at your screen right now, I'm pretty excited by what we're able to do. 5 years ago, I don't think this was possible. This is really an innovation in both the software editing, the capture, and the camera functionality that we have today. So I also want to spend a couple of minutes talking about the preview video, because this is sort of a new asset that most people haven't utilized before. A teaser video is a great tool for social media and online advertising that offers just enough of the digital twin to catch somebody's curiosity. If you look at it, right, like viewers see a ton of homes in a given day, but it's all the same stuff, right? It's all the photograph of the hero shot of the front exterior, right? But by providing something that's animating in and out and showing that we've got this dollhouse view that we're bringing you into, it's a way to, sort of call out your listing and say, wait, this listing has something more. So it's going to catch the eye. Again, folks on social media, they're seeing dozens, if not hundreds of listings in a day, depending on what groups they're part of. Make yours stand out.
So should we have the polls, Kate, or should I ask the question?
Let's talk to Ave Maria about Digital Pro first, and then we'll
Sure.
yeah.
Well, Ave Maria, it's for you. The question is for you. You use the Digital Pro. You enjoyed it. So can you please talk about what you like the most? Is it the quality? Is it one appointment? Is it both? Is it your seller?
So I think for me, I appreciate the fact that I was able to have one appointment, of course. And then the photographer was awesome. I've used her, I think 3 times or 2 times, Jessica, like I'm sweet on her. And then I think the fact that we're able to take away and add. So like one of the things that was a big selling point for my seller is he wanted one of the rooms to not be featured with his mom in it because she had an illness. And we were able to just like crop all that stuff out and still show the room. That was a great feature for him. That actually made me look like the realtor of the year that I was able to do that. And just all of the, I'm using the word amenities carefully, but all of the amenities that come with the Digital Pro package, it accommodates me as a realtor that I don't have to do triple and, double and triple work. And then for my seller, it just makes me present well as a realtor.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay, so let's
Kate,
look.
I do want to take a pause for a second.
Sure.
Just folks at home, I'm seeing a lot going in on the chat. Now, I'm not one that can actually monitor it, right? I don't have that. I'm not smart enough for that.
Oh, of course.
I do want to
not,
encourage
yeah.
people to utilize the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen. At the end of this session, Kate is going to take us through and we'll knock out answers to everything. So please, if you've submitted something in the chat, I've seen it go by, but please get it in the Q&A and we'll take care of that for you. Sorry, Kate, back to you.
Yes, please. That'll make it a lot easier for us at the end to sift through these. All right, so let's look at a couple of our polls that we've been putting up. First, we asked the audience if you've used Matterport 3D on at least one of your listings. So it looks like 42% said not yet, but I'd like to. 33, yes, but not a regular user. And then 21% said that you use them on most of your listings. So that was great to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then I also asked the percentage of your listings that you use Matterport on. So there was 11 of you, which was cool, that use them on 75 to 100% of your listings. And then it looked like a big majority was 1 to 25%. And a lot of you just haven't used them yet on your listing. So I hope that you're inspired by this presentation today to start giving it a try on your listings. And one last poll, and then we'll move on. I asked about Digital Pro. It is a new service to us, to all of our clients out there. So I realize a lot of you have not tried it yet. 83% has not tried it, but plan to, and 14% have tried it. So that's cool. Very cool. All
Okay.
right.
So we are coming to the end of our presentation, and I would like to just mention that it's all about you standing out, you being different, you being special, and how you treat your seller.
So, hey, Kate, I'm not sure if you're catching this, but we're not getting good audio from Lucy. Lucy, I'm going to ask you to mute for a moment. Kate, do you want to take this part while your internet's going out, Lucy?
Yeah. So we just want to highlight the fact that we know it all starts with the listing presentation and how important it is to really showcase all of the efforts you're making to market their home using this tech-forward strategy you're implementing, and show what you're doing that other agents are. So whether you're using Digital Pro or Gold Photography with a 3D tour and floor plan, make sure to show them what you're doing, show them samples and the data that backs up your strategy. So like Dylan said, he likes to show them the 3D tour and they get to actually interact with it and play with it. And that really kind of engages them and helps them understand what a powerful tool that is and how not every agent out there is doing it. So another thing we wanted to highlight was that we do provide a listing presentation flyer that you can download. You can leave it behind with your sellers at listing appointments, and they can actually scan that QR code to check out a 3D tour and navigate through all the assets themselves in real time. And then we also have a super awesome handy home prep checklist to make sure that the property is ready to go prior to the shoot to ensure the best possible outcome. The most successful agents stage and prep their listings to make the best first impression possible. So it's super important to go through those extra steps. And that is mostly what we wanted to cover there.
Okay, I'm going to go off script and call out because I made a couple of phone calls, right? Like I spoke with Jessica, who's Ave Maria's kind of go-to, right? And, there was a little bit of like, hey, one of your agents is going to be doing this thing, blah, blah, blah. And not only did she say, look, I love working with her, but what she had called out, and this is evident looking at Dylan's stuff too, you guys are utilizing the Digital Pro Home Checklist, or Dylan, in your case, the Home Prep Checklist for gold photography. What I will state, to the audience here is we've got the best photographers, and we are really good at what we do. The one thing that you can do to provide maximum results, to really guarantee that your listing is going to look incredible, is print that checklist out and go through it with your seller. Because at the end of the day, we can only capture what's there, right? Like as Dylan called out, or Ave Maria called out, we don't over Photoshop our stuff. And there's a lot that we, sort of constrain for fair housing and making sure that we're accurately representing the property. So make sure that this home checklist, this is like the one thing you can do, which gives you, sort of a guarantee that your place is going to look amazing.
Awesome. Thanks, Vince. Yeah, it's super important. And we're going to ask one more question here before we wrap up. So in relation to the listing presentation, Dylan, what can you share as far as the most important thing when it comes to listing presentations and really showing your sellers? I mean, you've touched on it earlier, kind of what you do, but one more time, let's bring it home.
I'll give you the big three. One, professionalism is a reflection of your own business, your own craft. Two, it represents the property well. And thirdly, I think it's most engaging to the seller when you actually let them play and experience and visualize their property listed with you on the market.
Awesome. Easy as that, right?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'm going to call out professionalism for a quick second, right? Ave Maria, I saw your lighting setup, right? You look great, right? As do you, Dylan. And I have to call Dylan out. You have mastered something that I'm still struggling with. You sit perfectly still during these webinars, like to the point where I had to look at my screen and just make sure that, oh, that wasn't as still. I can't do it, man. I fidget. And I can imagine that, as an agent sitting with sellers, right, who are rapid firing questions to you, that level of composure really works in your favor.
Early on, I had an office manager, because naturally I'm a fidgety person. I can be stoic when I need to be, we'll say. But he would always tell me, he'd say, in the back of your head, Dylan, just think smooth as a Cadillac. So in times where I feel, because we all feel it, that pressure, that anxiety breathing up. And I've done like a lot of like breathing work and meditation work, right? Back on mine, I say just smooth as a Cadillac. So, and Vince, what doesn't help you is your screen moves around the whole time. So I'm sitting here wondering, like, man.
Well, I got that to accommodate my fidgeting. I did this to accommodate my fidgeting. I went the opposite route. I said, I can't stop moving, so I'll just have the camera follow me. But smooth as a Cadillac, that I'm taking that one. Thank you.
All right.
All right, so let's take some questions here. Sorry, I'm trying to do a few things at once. All right, so let's see here. Question from Maureen Flavin. Can you add virtual staging to the Matterport, Vince?
So there's a couple of ways. First off, with Digital Pro, we can add virtual staging to the still photographs. We at VHT Studios and Matterport, we don't have virtual staging as an offering, but there are several really great partners that can add virtual staging to your Matterport. So if you hit us up after the show, I can direct you at them. I do know one of the partners that we've worked with in the past is named StyleDod, StyleDod. They will do that kind of work, and it really does provide great results.
Cool. Awesome. Let's see here. So we've got a question from let's see. Somebody's asking about the quality of photos from Digital Pro. Can you just talk a little bit more, Vince, about the images that are extracted from the 3D tour and make them a believer?
Absolutely.
They want you to.
Yeah, and look, I had to become a believer, right? Like when we brainstormed and created Digital Pro, right? As a person who's been in this business since 2004, a professional photographer, I said, look, we're up against a lot. But what we found was, right, both, the Matterport Pro 2 and the Matterport Pro 3 cameras, they're shooting at a very high resolution. Yes, they're digitally stitching several photographs together, right, to accommodate the rotations. And we're also doing a very sort of basic HDR blend. So what that means is we have a base photograph, sort of the basis for a photograph that is comparable to, a strong, well set up single exposure. So when you look at Digital Pro samples, you'll see that there's a lot of detail that you do get through the windows. You're not going to have the same crystal clear level of clarity as you will with gold, but you do get reasonable vision through the windows. We are able to really bring up shadows, so you're seeing those darker areas, and we're able to bring back a lot of the highlights. Overall, I'd say Digital Pro provides an experience that's very much akin to HDR photography, which, in a lot of areas is the standard, and frankly, the best that you'll see in a lot of markets that aren't doing, what we do with gold, which is flash plus HDR. So I'm very happy with the product. Our team handles these sort of corrections for all the little sort of stitching artifacts that, if you're really paying attention to Matterport tours, you'll tend to see from time to time. So for the end user, for you, the agent, and your sellers, you'll never see any of that stuff. I'm very excited by what we can get from Digital Pro. And the other side of it, right, I had mentioned earlier in talking about gold, just how important composition is. So a great photograph starts with a composition. With Digital Pro, we've trained our team to take their scans from certain vantage points, and then we actually had to retrain our whole editing team to be able to sort of think like a photographer. When Digital Pro photographs are created, our editors are quite literally becoming virtual photographers, and they're in there in the 3D space, creating a composition, following all of the rules and guidelines that we kind of set up. So I think you'll be very excited to see what can come out of a Digital Pro.
Awesome. Great answer. We had another question about 3D tours and people having trouble kind of navigating. They'll get into a corner and not be able to back out, things like that. Any advice you can give people on like the user experience?
Absolutely. I'm going to give people advice that will change their lives. The arrow keys on your keyboard work for navigating through a Matterport 3D tour. So, definitely mouse or finger, right, if you're on an iPad or phone, is your default. But when in doubt, quite literally just hit your up or down arrow key, and you're going to go forward or backwards depending on the key that you hit. What's really cool about this is, it allows you to, if you're my generation, right, you grew up with video games, you start to navigate the space like a video game. Now that might sound daunting, but the fact of the matter is it allows you to do it really quickly and really naturally once you just start thinking about forward, backwards, left, and right. So when in doubt, hit your arrow keys, guys.
Awesome. Okay, so with that, we need to wrap up. We're way over time here. We do have some more questions in the chat. We will be following up tomorrow with an email with the recording of the show today. We'll have all answers to your questions included, as well as links to our listing presentation and the home prep checklist. So everything will be coming to you in one package tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Let's get to what everybody's been waiting for, the 3 winners of our free Digital Pro package. And those winners are Maria Elena Cerrone. Oh, sorry, I'm not pronouncing that right. Betty Stroll and Randy Newman. Congrats for Digital Pro. We'll follow up with you and let you know how to redeem those free Digital Pro packages. And then our winner of the Gold Photography 3D Tour and Floor Plan is Nancy Walkley. So congratulations. And again, we'll be in touch to help you redeem those prizes. That is all we have for you. Again, just thank you so much. Thank you to Ava, Maria, and Dylan. Your insights were amazing. And I think it's always good to bring in realtors who are in the field and really find out what's happening out there in the world and share your experiences. So just thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
And then one thing to note, Lunch with Lucy is coming back next month. We have a great guest, Don McKenna, who is with the #4 team in the nation, will be our guest. It's very, very exciting. So look out for an invite for that. It'll be coming very soon. And you can always check vht.com/learn. That's where we have most of our webinar signups. So again, vht.com/learn. That signup will be on very soon. So we hope to see you next month.
Thanks so
All
much,
right.
everyone.
Thank
Thank you so much. You guys enjoy your day.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye-bye.